Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for Monday, October the 13th, 2025 to order. And first line of business is the prayer, and I'd ask Anthony Bruno to lead us in the prayer, please.
Loving God, as we come together tonight for the city of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us to share your wisdom. Amen.
Thank you. And all rise, and I would ask former council member Barbara Bruno to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and I'd ask the clerk to perform roll call.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Rosick?
Here.
Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mayor Pedro?
Here.
Mr. Fryer?
Here.
Mr. Borowski?
Here.
Mrs. Duncan?
Here.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval from our minutes from our regular council meeting from September 22nd. You've all had a chance to receive those and review them, and I'd ask for a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I have a couple. I did talk to our clerk today, and just a couple minor changes. The last meeting we had, the family of Janet Sorg here, Jenny Scheffler and Ed Sorg recited the Pledge of Allegiance. That could be corrected. And that's all I have. With that, I would ask for that to be considered. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Oppose? Alrighty. Next is citizens' comments. I do have a few of those. And so I would ask those that filled out a form to come to the microphone, identify yourself and your address. And first is Wendy Gray.
Wendy Gray, 730 Village Parkway, Waterville. I'm actually here on behalf of the Christmas event. So we're actually kind of running behind a little bit from previous years. But I did turn in tonight, Kaylee has made up a list for all of the council members. That is the proposal that we're asking for this year. And just to let you know, this year, we are proposing the Christmas event to take place on Sunday, December 7th. We're time, we're thinking around 5:30 to 7:30 with a light up at Parker Square at 6 p.m. So it's wonderful that we have that park to light that up. And this year we want to add a few new big items to that, along with our nostalgic horse and wagon, our green screen photo. We will have the famous Santa's Workshop. If any of you have ever seen that before, it's beautiful, where Santa and Mrs. Claus will be. And then we'll hand out goodie bags again, food trucks, and then we'll have Matt Richardson perform live music and also be our announcer for the event. The biggest thing that we've been running into every year are our volunteers. Every year we're getting fewer and fewer people that are volunteering. And it's really falling on maybe just a few of us that wind up kind of finishing everything out until the end. And if any of you have not, or some of you who are here, you've been involved in this in past years, it takes hours, days, months to get this thing together. And the lighting of the trees, because we light 30 trees on 3rd Street, we do the pergolas at the clock tower, the bushes, we do Prey Park, plus we do down 2nd Street here, and it's a lot. And I'm sure anybody that's been on it before can tell you tonight that there's just so much involved in it. So I did call around to some companies just to get an idea of what they would charge us to just light the 30 trees that we have done. And I've been a part of this for 9 years. 30 trees on 3rd Street, they want $5,000. They want to light the large pine tree that our city guys usually do up on Prey Park. they want at least $3,000 for the pine tree. So that doesn't include all the things. If you drove through last year and you saw all the lights dripping off all the trees, the bushes, the pergolas, that was just done by all volunteers that live here in Waterville. So, and I think maybe even some people from White House have come in and helped us in the past as well. So we are actually asking that this year, so we know the job gets done, we're not scattered and still lighting the day before because it just takes so long. I would like to know if the city, I gave you a budget, and it's always within kind of the budget we've had over the last couple of years. I am asking that you allow myself and Kaylee to be a part of a select team that we choose, and then we actually get paid for it this year because it is so much work, so much involved. We've been out in rain, snow, freezing cold. I know some of you have seen us out there, so we are asking that you would approve that along with all of the other events that we have included. We did scale it back a little bit. This year we will not be housing all the craft areas and things like we have in the past. We're going to center it on Parker Square, on Santa's Workshop, and we're going to look for another building on River Road that I'm going to talk to owners of to see if we can put our green screen in there and just kind of keep everybody in that vicinity. And so that's what we're looking to do, and we're really hoping that you guys will give us the approval because it is October 13th, and we need to get moving on this and get the lights out and get them roped. We need to get going while the weather's decent.
So before council probably has some questions, I did speak to Wendy today and about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she threw this idea at me, and I talked to John. It's consistent with what has been done in the past. I think the new twist here is the activity of down on River Road and Parker Square, which is evolving into be kind of our focal point. So I'll open it up to council if you have any questions, comments, and then we should take action. So Anthony Bruno.
So the total for all supplies, labor, everything all in is $10,500.
That's correct.
How does that differ from last year?
I think last year we had a $10,000 budget. The year before, I believe we had like 12,000. So we started coming down, but I kind of based, you know, again, when you're talking a company coming in and roping 30 trees down 3rd Street for $5,000, we're saying we'll do the whole thing like we have in the past for $3,500, you know, the team that we choose to do it.
I'd be in favor of it.
Todd?
No, Wendy, I think you've done a great job. And I understand the $3,500. I think that's very minimal. I have helped volunteer, and it is a lot of work, and you guys have done a great job. A lot of the supplies have lasted that we've got over the past 2 years, because I know you had to weed through everything with the city, get more, and you feel the 7,000 is enough?
I think so.
Okay.
I do, and you know, I'm trying to be cautious on it. I know that all of our decorations have been stored, and at the end of last year, some of us went to the city building. We plugged in every strand of light that was strung in a tree, and we stood there and we rolled them on reels and we packed them in bins. So I know what we need this year, and I think, you know, my estimate's probably pretty close to that.
Okay. So the $3,500 is just for you two, correct?
No, it would be for a team.
Per
So-
team? Okay, that is awesome, because
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking,
No.
if you guys were heading the team, it would be nice to just kind of pass out, you know,
Correct.
gift cards, coffee cards, and something. So this is
Right.
so reasonable.
Right.
Yes,
And
this
I-
is great.
You know, and I don't know, it'll be like Kaylee and myself,
Mhm.
and, you know, I'm sure my husband Tom will be on it. Every year he's out there with us too, roping, and I kind of tell him he has to go do those pergolas and do this and do that, you know? So he's right in there, but we'll pick whether it's maybe, I'm just gonna say like 8 people. Maybe there'll be like just 8 core people. And the really wonderful thing about the way that we do the actual event this year, we're not gonna be needing tons and tons of volunteers. We're not gonna need that because actually Kaylee and Terry Russo usually run the Santa's workshop. They kind of host that. I'm kind of all over the place, running around. Matt Richardson, who would perform the live music, he'll also be our announcer for anything that we need announced. Food trucks pretty much take care of themselves. And the green screen, Linda's done it every year for us, and she can just handle it. She knows what to do. We just give her a spot, and she just goes. So really, I don't think we're going to have to worry about a lot of volunteers.
So Wendy, if we could, I'm gonna,
Yes.
Todd, if you're done, Rod?
My only question was gonna be, I thought we had a lot of lights that we've purchased over the years, so you pretty much just answered that question for me, that, I mean, we've still got a good supply and things are in good shape, so.
We do. I did, as you can see, I did put lights needing
Yeah.
replaced because a lot of them were burned out last year. So that's probably, maybe a little bit on the low side, but maybe not for this year. I'll make it work.
Thank you. Wayne?
Just to clarify, the $7,000 total may come under, but the 3,500 is set in stone.
That's correct.
Okay. So if you end up only needing 1,500 of the lights needing replaced, maybe 500 less and be back on last year's budget.
Yes, but I will tell you that, sometimes what happens is, let's say maybe, putting another light up piece over at Parker Square, maybe it came under, but yet other supplies came up.
Sure.
So that's why the receipts come in and I show you guys exactly what we spent.
All right, I'm gonna miss helping.
Thank you. John Rozick?
Thanks, Mayor. Wendy, this is great as usual, so I appreciate that. I know how much time you spend on this, so I'm guessing at $3,500, that's about $5 an hour for your team, so it's well worth it. I have to ask a technical question, Katie. That might be higher than it actually turns out to be $5, but is this gift cards or cash payments, or how would you do that?
This would probably be, I'm thinking cash payment if possible, because I would think that's what most people on the team would want, would be more cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too technical, but we probably have to work out some of the details on, 1099s and that sort of thing, depending on the payments. And this doesn't create any liability if we're paying them, does it?
No, because they would be contractors,
Yeah.
so no,
Okay.
it would not create any liability. And just get with John, we'll just have to figure out legally what we do with it. We'll need an accounting certainly, but I didn't even think about 1099s might have to happen too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's all above board, not saying that it wouldn't be, but,
Right.
Because
Because the only other, and it's something we can talk about more, if for some reason you couldn't make that work, I do still have my business license and I still do own 3rd Street Blooms Florist, and I just don't operate every day to day anymore.
Okay.
So it could be under 3rd Street
Good.
Blooms if it had to be, but.
John, anything else?
No? Good, thanks.
Mary?
No, I just wanna make sure we can pay you somehow. If we're gonna do it, then that's not an easy thing for us to do.
Right.
I mean,
And here's my thing, I don't wanna, get the core team selected or the people I have in mind, and then we start working, and then you guys come back and say, oh yeah, we can't do this.
So I think in general, the consensus of council is we're gonna move forward. I think there's some details that you and John have to work out. Do we need to take any action right now, or is this, are we good enough going forward, or do you need to do anything right now?
I'll make a motion if we need one.
I'll second
Okay,
it.
John Rozick is making a motion,
I second.
Make a motion to approve Wendy's budget for the Christmas event.
and I think I heard Wayne, you
Still
seconded
second
it.
it, yeah.
Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose. All right, thanks, Wendy.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next on our list is Dave Weber and Barb Bruno representing Save the Bridge. Please go to the microphone and your name and address and state the nature of your business.
Dave Weber, Toledo, Ohio, and I'm part of a group called Save the Bridge Association.
Barb Bruno, 137 South River, Waterville. All right, thank you, council. Thank you for all you do. Okay, all right. I have a pretty good carrying voice. Okay, yes, I am here tonight. If you all received my email, yes? I have copies here if you need one. Okay.
So back in November, with Tim, myself, and Dave Weber, and a guy named Frank Budwin, and a woman by Sandy. And Sandy's no longer with our group, but we started back in November talking about efforts to save the bridge. As everyone is aware, it was slated for eminent demolition in April. ODOT was going to be putting out bids. Well, fortunately, the group worked feverishly to find ways to halt that action. And by the grace of God and Tim Pedro and a phone call from Governor DeWine, that happened. He gave us a 1-year pause. And so since then, we've been gathering volunteers and donations, and we were at the Roche de Boeuf Festival, and Dave was at the Apple Butter Festival, and we got over nearly 600 signatures of people in support of saving the bridge, and then another 85 people willing to give us their email, and then to say that I want to know more, I want to get involved more. So, and to date, we've raised over $777.75, which is pretty good. And to Wendy's point about getting volunteers, that is very difficult. People are just really busy today. Families are just stretched. So tonight we are here. We are a 501c3 public charity, and so our membership has grown. So we serve in conjunction on an exploratory committee with this bridge project. And so we're here tonight to ask City Council to consider a $1,000 contribution toward our efforts. We're not done yet, but every day I see it as a success when that bridge is still there, and people can behold its grandeur as long as we can keep it. So I thank you for your time. Any questions?
So I'm going to ask council. I'll start with Mary Duncan. Any questions?
No question.
John Rozick.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Wayne?
No questions.
Oh, thanks for everything you guys do. Dave, you've been great about updating us, over the past few months. I did see you guys out there, so, yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Mhm.
I would just say I think your passion for this cause is admirable. And I would definitely be in favor of that donation to you guys.
So maybe just to add to it, I mean, not only the financial request, but the fact that when citizens came to me about a year ago, and we knew that ODOT was in the process of going down their natural, legal route to do the studies, EPA, Fish and Wildlife, et cetera, et cetera. They had to go through a cycle of things, and some citizens, including Barb and others, John's been part of that, they said, Tim, we want to save the bridge. At that point, all I said was, if you're going to do it, we're in the red zone. You got to do it now, or it's going to be gone. So we did have conversation with ODOT. I did have a conversation with Governor DeWine, and honestly, in a matter of 30 minutes, he paused it. He called me and said we paused it. So he's given the group, Save the Bridge, a chance to digest some things and think it through. That doesn't mean someday that bridge is coming down, but what it means is it's given a grassroots organization a chance to try something. And maybe there's a compromise. Maybe you save some of the bridge, all the bridge, but I think it's a worthwhile effort. If council's in agreement, if someone want to make a motion, I did have one other suggestion to the committee, to take perhaps the support we might give them tonight, is use it as a match. Send it out saying that we're gaining momentum. If you, Citizen X, would give $20, this would become a match and help you grow the effort. I know there's been some talk about what would the money be used for. Multiple things. You got to start somewhere. Some of it's just miscellaneous or administrative, but I know Dave's got a plan on grants and whatnot, and that's another story in itself. So baby steps. They're making progress. I think we can or should support it. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to make a $1,000 contribution to the Save the Bridge.
Need a second?
Second.
Second, Rod, and Todd almost had a third. I'll give him a third. It's been moved and seconded and third on issuing a donation in the amount of $1,000 to Save the Bridge, which is a 501c organization. It's been moved and second. I need all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All right, there you be.
Yay, well, thank you so much. We really value, okay, thanks.
And you're welcome to stay or
I'd like to
leave,
add
but
one-
we're gonna,
one
we're
thing.
gonna,
When Barb sent you the email, there's a link on there to a spreadsheet, and that'll be kept up to date. So basically, we're not only a 501c3, we're fully open in our finances. So basically, any time in the future, just tag that link.
Good.
And you'll know where we're at. Right now, we're slightly in the red, but thanks to you, we aren't now, so.
all right, thank you very much. Next is, I received a request from Terry Masucci. He's going to talk about the Fall Festival. And you know the routine.
Terry Masucci, 1101 Waterville, Monclova Road, Waterville. I just wanted to give a shout out to, if anybody went to the Fall Festival, that the Waterville United Methodist Church and the Waterville Fire Station had. It was awesome, and I hope it was a great community event. Everything was free except for the food trucks. There was music, games, bounce houses, putt-putt. The fire station had stations with activities. Perrysburg Township showed up, Waterville Township, our city police officers showed up. What I want to say is I hope it's annual, and I hope that the city expands on it even more to have a great family event that doesn't cost a ton of money. I mean, free is as good as it gets. That, and I realize that it's a church and then the fire department, but if on the city side, they can expand on it more to make it even bigger than last year. Thanks.
Thank you,
Or
Terry.
This year.
Thank you. Next is our staff reports, and we'll start with our administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. I just wanted to mention that leaf collection does officially start on Monday, October 20th, and then that'll run through December 5th, which is a Friday. And then the Chamber of Commerce has their annual Boo-to-Doo Halloween event, and that is Thursday, October 23rd, from 5 to 7 in the downtown area. So if council has any questions.
Council?
I would just remind citizens not to put leaves in the street, but keep it on the tree lawn. I think that's right, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Thanks, thank you.
The only thing I'd add to that, John, I did see the street sweeper out a week ago. I happened to be home that day and was going down Cedar Lane. It certainly is doing a great job picking up leaves, and so it's being used, and I'm looking forward to, obviously, all the leaves being picked up. All right, that's our staff report. We're next to our law director.
No report this evening.
Thank you. And our finance director.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Our treasurer. Well, Steve's pretty bashful, and I want to give him a shout out. Steve is going to leave this council meeting tonight, probably when we're done. I don't know exactly what time. He's going to probably get up about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and drive, 3 o'clock, he just told me, 3 o'clock, and drive to the Eugene Kranz Airport to be on the honor flight that are taking some veterans from the local area to Washington, D.C. He does a great job. I know his wife is going as a helper. And I know Wayne did it last year, and I did it last year at the same time, matter of fact, and it's very rewarding to see those veterans have the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. If you're around tomorrow night, 10 o'clock? What time tomorrow night?
We're open at 7 o'clock at Grand Air Hangar. The plane's supposed to come in around 9.
So 7 o'clock, you can go out to the hangar and enjoy the fellowship of welcoming home the veterans sometime around probably 8 or 9 o'clock they will arrive. So thanks again, Steve. All right, next is communication from council members, and I'll start with our Vice Mayor, Mary Duncan,
No report this evening.
and I'll go to John Rosick.
Thanks, Mayor. I just want to echo what Terry Masucci said earlier. I think the Fall Festival was a great success. And I want to thank the church, Waterville United Methodist Church. They really got it organized and recruited our public works directors. We had fire personnel, police, police cars, fire trucks, helicopters. It was quite an event. So you're exactly right, Terry. Thanks for mentioning it.
Good. And then I would ask Anthony Bruno.
For my, for what?
Report.
Any-
Did you skip all everyone?
He skipped everybody else. We want to make sure you're
Sorry,
paying
you took
attention.
me off guard. I just wanted to say that today I took a walk through Waterworks Park, and that I think that the Blair Pond sign looks phenomenal. And I just want to give a shout out to Public Works for that, and I think it was so deserving. To Kenny, it looks phenomenal, and the park looked excellent. So besides that, I don't have a report.
Good. Wayne,
No
I
report.
jumped over you for a minute,
Yeah,
all
it's
right. Rod Fry,
No report.
Mr. Todd.
No report.
Okay, I just got a couple comments to make. We got a great city. I think we all know that, and just heard about the activity at the fire station and the church. But I guess maybe I can do a better job of broadcasting what takes place in our city. Thanks to the citizens who gave Mrs. Sorg, my good friend, a 100th birthday card last week, and City Council passed legislation. I went there today. The kids from Waterville Primary School made up about 57 homemade cards, and she was very pleased. I think she got 210 cards, but it meant a lot to me because she was an old family friend. The Rooster Buff, what a great success. I know there were more participants in the parade, and it was a great event, bigger parade, lots of crafts and food trucks. And hats off to Michelle Smith and her team from the Chamber of Commerce. We talked about the activity at the Waterville Methodist Church and the fire department. Thanks also, last week we had the Waterville Community Foundation, Randy Sikorsky, Diana Wall, Steve Schultz, Paul Croy, and probably some others I'm forgetting, who, through the foundation of Waterville, gave $40,000 to the city for a new drone, which is going to be used by the fire, police, and public works for safety measures in our community. In addition, if that wasn't enough, the Community Foundation also gave the Anthony Wayne Free Press, which is a new endeavor, $30,000 to help them cover stories in the Anthony Wayne area. Plus, they pledged $10,000 next year for the next 3 years. So that's the beauty of people working together in our community. I was at the Tree Commission meeting the other day, and plans are being discussed for the Veterans Day, which I would encourage all of you to take time and remember that on November the 11th. There'll be more information coming out later, but one simple way to become involved in Veterans Day is to purchase a banner for a family member or a friend that will hang in the city of Waterville. I also heard from a local business owner. She wants to organize a food collection campaign this fall. The details on that will follow. I also want to remind the citizens of Waterville that our financials are in solid condition, solid shape. And then at top of that, we will be planning our budget for 2026. And John and the staff are already beginning that. But I'd ask council to be ready to plug into your ideas soon, because we'd like to get those things into John November and December. We can't pass the budget because you got to close out the books in January, but we'd like to get the budget passed by the 1st of February. We did it last year, and I think it helped the staff with programs throughout the year. Also, in early January, council will be selecting and appointing 2 members for the council seats. There'll be more information on that later, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. I want to recognize today is Columbus Day. Some of you probably had to work. I know I did, but some of you maybe had the day off. And then lastly, plans are in preliminary discussions have been underway to file for grants to have the Historical Society lot paved for asphalt. It'll be a joint effort with the downtown businesses, and engineering has been nearly completed on that. Lastly, did you know in 1792, no, I wasn't around then, none of you were around, but in 1792, the cornerstone was laid for the White House. I thought that was important to note. Alrighty, that is all the communications from council. Next is new business. Resolution 3125, a resolution approving a revised preliminary plat for Columbiana Village at Waterville Landings, plots 2 through 6, and Farnsworth Village at Waterville Landing, plats 7 through 10. John, I'd ask you to elaborate.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a revision to the preliminary plat for Columbian Village at Waterville Landings, plats 2 through 6, and Farnsworth Village at Waterville Landings, plats 7 through 10. So the original preliminary plat was approved by council in April of 2023. The applicant has submitted a revised preliminary plat. There's 9 plats, 5 are for Columbian Village, 4 for Farnsworth Village at Waterville Landing. So the development consists of 173 single-family lots, and it's located off Prairie Boulevard and west off of Collin Drive, which is off of Waterville-Montclover Road. Council received a copy of the original preliminary plat and the revised preliminary plat, so you could take a look at the changes that were being made, and in comparing the two, essentially there are a few changes. The applicant is removing the 2 cul-de-sacs that were in Columbian Village Plat 4. The detention area along US 24 is being enlarged, so none of the lots back up right up to the expressway. The lots, some of the lots are smaller in width, so the original plat, the smallest lot width was 65 feet in width, and in the new plat, there are some lots that are 58 feet in width. So the minimum required lot width in R2 residential districts in the city of Waterville is 50 feet in width. So that's a 7,500 square foot building lot. Most of the smaller lots, if you took a look at the preliminary plat, most of these smaller lots are adjacent to the Waterville Place apartments, so that kind of provides a transition from the apartments to the larger lots that are to the south and to the east. So at the October 6, 2025 public meeting of the Planning Commission, the recommendation to council was to approve the preliminary plat subject to the following conditions. The completion of a traffic impact study with the submittal of the final plat for Farnsworth Village Plat 7 to determine if a right turn lane is required on Waterville-Montclover Road onto Collin Drive. And then the second condition was, which was in the original approval, which is to continue the clearing and grubbing of Farnsworth Ditch between Prairie Boulevard and Dutch Road to ensure drainage for the area there. So those are essentially the changes. The applicant is here tonight if council has any questions.
Just introduce yourself, please, and your nature of business.
Yeah, Greg Feller, Feller Fitch Associates, 1683 Woodlands Drive, Maumee. I'm the civil engineer for the project. Yeah, so John kind of summarized, we do have a current approved preliminary drawing, but we want to make some revisions, as John outlined. And really, the main reason for the revisions is responding to the market. As everyone knows, house prices are going up and up. I think in Farnsworth, the houses that go on like a typical Farnsworth lot are 500,000 plus right now. And then, with the baby boomers aging and looking for housing, there's a trend in the market right now for smaller houses, smaller lots. And the main goal is to try and get that house price down to around the $250,000 or $300,000 range. So that's the reason for updating this layout with some small lots. Not the entire development got smaller, just a few lots along the apartment complex. Again, went from I think 63 to 58, so we're talking like 7 feet. So not a huge change, but trying to provide that housing type and smaller lots, smaller houses. Still, the houses are still going to be nice. They're still going to have all the upgrades and the amenities on the inside that people demand. Just obviously, houses go for about $200 a square foot to build. So in order to get down to that $300,000 range, you kind of have a small house. So and then the other reason, as John mentioned, we put the small lots up against the apartment complex. That offers kind of a transition from the apartment complex to the larger the larger $500,000 Farnsworth lots. So we think it offers a better transition. It provides a housing type that's not readily available right now. We did expand the detention pond along 24 again. People don't want to build $500,000 houses backing up to 24, so we got rid of those cul-de-sacs, expanded that pond to provide another amenity for the people that back up. So that's really the main reason for the changes. The drawing, all the lots do meet the current zoning requirements. We're not asking for any variances. We're not asking for any changes to the zoning code, so I can answer any questions. Oh, one more thing I did want to mention. We do agree to the conditions, the traffic study and clearing the ditch. We agree with that.
I'd have to say I'd be more in favor of keeping the lots throughout the whole development consistent. I'm not in favor of the smaller lots. I think that it really breaks apart the consistency from where you started, and lowering that threshold of size changes up the neighborhood quite a bit in terms of the house, right? You know, the style of home back there. So,
So the 7-foot small lots are.
Are you planning on putting villas, or are those just gonna be single-family ranches, or single-family?
Yep.
Okay. I like the green space, I like the pond. I assume the green space will just be grass, you're not gonna plan on putting any type of, nothing back there, okay. But I do agree with Anthony on the lot size, shrinking them, putting them on top of one another. I know it's only 7 foot, but I like the pond. Yeah, I like the back, yeah.
Side yard's still the same?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're hearing. I mean, obviously, I've talked to other builders, and they're saying the same thing. People are looking for smaller homes, less yard,
Right.
to get the price down. So I can see why you're doing what you're doing. And I also like the transition from the apartments and then into Farnsworth, so you've got to step up in value and price. The homes that you currently have built in Columbian Village, this will be the same type of home?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And I just do want to mention, the R2 does allow 50-foot lots. We're not going that small.
Yeah, I know
We don't want to go that small.
Right.
So, okay.
No, I'm good. Wait,
How many homes are we looking at that will be changed to the 58-foot?
I didn't count the actual number of lots that changed to 50. I want to say, if I remember correctly, I didn't have the number off the top of my head, I think it's like 5 or 7 more lots, I think is all we're talking.
So you're gaining 5 or 7.
I think so.
By
Is that,
taking
John, is that
these.
right?
7 lots. You're
7
gaining-
lots, okay.
Yeah, you're only gaining 7 lots. There are 30 lots that are smaller in size in the new plat as opposed to the old plat. So I mean, that's 17% of the 173 lots. So
Right.
so it is a small number, and if you know, you look at the preliminary drawing, they're all backing up to the apartments.
Right. So again, the main reason, offer smaller lots, smaller yards, and have that transition from the apartments to the larger lots.
I'm also not in favor. I don't know why, really, other than I'm not a big fan of R2, and if I do recall, I believe John Rosick had some questions about this a few years back, with putting R2 in and having smaller lots. If I remember correctly, you were in favor
Quite correct.
of leaving everything R1. So I don't really believe in the step down to from apartments to houses, and I'm in favor of having $400,000 houses compared to $200,000 houses. So
The problem is people don't want to build a $400,000 house next to an apartment complex.
I understand.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
leave it up.
At least that particular one.
Wayne, anything else?
That's it.
John Rosick?
Thanks, Mayor. Is the apartments then, are the apartments the next, there's nothing between this, that would be the western
Correct.
property? to-
Yes.
No more grass between that and the apartments?
Now the apartments back up to this development.
And then what will be the landscaping between, will there be trees or, how will you transition from the apartments to
So
the
if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the apartment complex has a fence, or maybe they're required to have a solid fence, and then landscaping would be obviously like a normal subdivision, up to the homeowners to, do whatever landscaping they want. But I do think the apartment complex has a fence.
I think they have trees. I don't think they have a fence, do they, John?
No, there is a buffer between the R3, which is the apartment complex, and the R2, which is Columbian Village and Farnsworth Village. So I believe it's about 30 feet.
Yeah, maybe they don't
Green
have fence, it might be
space,
landscaping, but I think they have some sort of.
Trees, landscaping,
Who owns the buffer?
the apartment complex.
Okay. So why did the lots shrink in size when you went from the, the first plan to the second plan? Is that because of the elimination of the cul-de-sacs or?
No, it's really market demand. Again, people are looking for smaller lot. People are looking for smaller houses, yes, but they also want smaller lot. They don't want people that are turning 65, retiring, looking for kind of their empty nester home. They don't want to maintain a large yard. They want a yard, but they don't want a large yard. So that's kind of the demand right now in the market. So it's really trying to respond to the market demand.
Yeah. What size would the houses be?
Yeah, not sure yet.
Not sure. What size can they be on that size of a lot?
Well, if it's a 58 wide lot and I'd have to do the calculation. I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest with you. If we're trying to get $300,000 houses and it's $200 a foot, they're probably gonna be around 1,500 square feet. 13 to 1,500 is what I would guess.
1 story, 2 story, do you know yet? Or?
Probably one, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's just a little dense, really, the configuration, as Anthony was saying.
It is only 7 more lots than what we have.
I'm hesitant, really, I'm hesitant to like it because of the density, I guess. That's all, Mayor. Thanks.
Mary Duncan?
I like the pond. I mean, it's much bigger
Yes.
than it was.
Right.
Which is great. People like to live on the water. That's
Right.
the other thing. They do like a water view. But yeah, they're pretty skinny. I mean, but I understand your logic as a retired person who looked for a smaller house on 1 floor. I understand why people are, looking for them as kids move away, they want less. So I do understand your logic, but it's tight. It is tight. Anyways, that's all.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that's a housing type that's really readily available in Waterville right now. I'm not sure there's a lot of smaller homes,
No.
smaller lots but still nice houses. So, I'm trying to provide something to again meet the demand of people that want to live in Waterville.
It took us 3 years to get a single-story house.
Yeah.
So
Can you build a house for 250,000?
you can build one for 300,000.
If it's the right size, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't build a 3,000
It's gonna be
square foot house for that, no.
It's gonna be tiny, but yeah, sure.
But going back on that, I mean, I understand the size to cost ratio for what you're trying to build, but you're marketing it for a 65 and older, so they're gonna be ranches. No 65-year-old's gonna wanna buy a 2-story house. It'd be kind of pointless.
Right, that'd be great.
So, and in order to get the square footage in a ranch, you're gonna be using every bit of the lot that you can.
No, he's keeping the same size.
I would say leave it alone and put an HOA in there and mow their grass for them, That seems to be the most logical sense to me, so.
So,
No,
I think all council have had a chance to chime in, and I'm going to make some comments based on what I heard to the developer and to the engineer. Is there a compromise here? You mentioned 7 lots you gained from the last time. Is there compromises? Can you go with 4?
Is 4 going to make or break the deal?
Probably not.
What number's going to make it work?
Yeah, I guess I'm listening to council and I'm just trying to,
I would be in favor of tabling this until we can see.
we got 2 conversations going. Wayne? Go
I
ahead.
would be in favor of tabling this until we can see maybe some renderings and styles of what these houses and packages as to what you will be marketing and showing people what they can build. And I'd like to see some models and whatnot of what is available for this before we proceed.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. The other thing is, John, I think you can elaborate further, but the planning commission did see this,
Yes.
and what was their comments?
They recommended that it be approved with the conditions. Theoretically, you could build a 29,000 square foot, 2,940 square foot house on those smaller lots. You would max out to the edge of the building envelope in the front, rear, and side, but you could do that. So I mean, you could build a fairly good-sized ranch house on one of these properties, or like a story and a half. So it is possible based on the dimensions of the lot. You could do that. But whether or not that's economically
Feasible.
feasible with, you know, the cost of development with $200 per square foot.
It's not just the dimensions of the lots, John, it's the numbers, I guess, which adds, you know, stress to our police and fire, maintenance of the roads and so forth,
So
so.
we kind of approved the whole plan,
Yeah,
you know, with more houses.
yeah. I mean, there is a demand. We know what the houses look like. They've done plenty of these lots before.
Right.
I know personal preference. I prefer a lot of yard space between houses, you know, but they're selling. You guys can't build them fast enough, right?
Right.
And do you have, or any of the other plats that you guys have built, do they have smaller lots like this that are 59, 58 frontage?
We've done 58s, I think, again, the other
Yeah, I
Columbia
mean, it
lots,
looks
I
like
think they're
you've gone
64, 65, something like
that's what I'm
that. I
seeing.
mean, not much bigger.
Yeah, yeah. So
again-
there's a demand, and I, like I said, I think it's a personal preference. I'm not in favor of it, but there is a demand. I think the pros are the green space, the pond being larger, and, that's how I feel about it here.
All right, so I heard Anthony Bruno make a suggestion about tabling it. Did you want to elaborate further on that, just to the next meeting?
I just think there's a lot of things that we need to do research on. First of all, I don't think the people that built the original houses off Waterville Monclova Road that are selling for $500,000 plus right now would be too thrilled that a part of their neighborhood, essentially, they're gonna have houses that are intentionally being marketed for $250,000. I think that will hurt home values, but I'm in favor of tabling. I just don't think, and I don't have everything gathered tonight that I want to ask regarding it, so it's not, I'm not ready to vote on it either way.
I'm not in favor of tabling this. I mean, if you look at this and you look at Columbia Village and what they've already done, it's gonna be the same type of homes on these other lots. They're smaller lots. People want smaller lots. They don't wanna take care of the yard. That's the majority of your people are looking for. As far as tabling it to look at the type of house that's being built, it's out there already. We've seen it. We've approved them. I would not be in favor of tabling this at all.
All right, so council, we need to make a decision. Are we going to make a motion to move forward with this? So a resolution,
If Anthony made a motion to table, I would second it.
you did make a motion?
If Anthony made a motion to table, I don't think he did, but if he
I'll
would,
make a motion.
All right, it's been moved
I
by
would
Anthony
second.
Bruno to table it and seconded by John. Any more discussion? So roll call. All those in favor of tabling this?
To the October 28th meeting or 27th meeting?
Yeah, you want one meeting? You want to amend that?
I mean, I'll say yes to that, but I would say at least.
Okay. All right, so moved and seconded. And John Rosick, you accepted the change on the next meeting?
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All those in favor of
Can I ask a
table? Yes, sir. Question?
What are we gonna do over the next 2 weeks? What's gonna be done so that the next meeting, you're gonna be able to vote on this?
I would like to see digital renderings of what the houses could potentially look like.
I'm Andrea Online, developer, Farnsworth Investors. It is just like what you were told before, the houses are gonna be the same. The quality's gonna be the same, the builder is gonna be the same, the product is gonna be the same. What we produce now is going to be the same thing we're going to produce. You are losing yard. People don't want all that yard. They don't want a villa. Some people like to do yard work. They like to take care of their own stuff. They don't want an HOA. They want to be independent. They want to have their own stuff. We are providing only a small section. I can't sell a $500,000 home against an apartment. Would any of you want that? It's not that the home isn't good. It's, I can't change what their background is going to be.
It's not that I wouldn't want that, it's that if I built it on the other side and then my neighborhood was now being marketed for $250,000 houses,
But,
it's gonna slow my value down.
I'm not gonna If I could build a $250,000 house, that would be pretty amazing. Our goal is 300,000. You guys, that's somebody threw out the 250, I don't know. But our goal is at least 300. They will still be the best house that you can get. They're still going to be the same people that we use. I can't promise you 5 years from now, that's not what it's gonna be. Maybe I'll come back again. We have to follow the market and what is in demand. There's not a lot out in Waterville. You guys have a tremendous amount coming to the city. The city has been fabulous to us. We've been here for over 20 years. And we keep bringing more, and we follow what people come to us and
May I
ask
ask
us
you this
to do.
question? How's Fiddler's Green doing?
Fiddler's Green is doing amazing. That's why I did 2 plats instead of 1. I just developed 34 lots. I have 2 parade of homes in there right now.
I would market more of those style houses.
But, okay, well, you can do houses, but those are in a different area where they have HOAs. So it doesn't mean that I can't take a house or a floor plan from there. If somebody likes the floor plan, we're willing to work with them and change them and move walls and do whatever. We're still gonna have the same style that we have and the same quality that we have. If somebody walks up to us with their own floor plan and says, this is what I want, make it work, we're gonna make it work. We wanna bring people here and people wanna come here. So, one, yes, I did change the cul-de-sacs. I can't get people who wanna be around 24 either. And even I've driven on 24 and I'm like, yeah, I don't wanna do that. Like, we're looking down, there's no way to hide that backyard. Like a fence, nothing's gonna hide that. So I moved the ponds back there instead, hold the houses closer. It did give me more houses because I made that also a little bit smaller. But I do have that green space and I do have more distance between them. So again, with Mr. Fry, I'm
Well,
gonna
when-
still show you my floor plans that you're seeing right out there.
So you're telling me that at the corner of Waterville, Monclova, up there, what is the name of that neighborhood?
Columbian Village?
Columbian Village, that is the same, those will be the same houses?
They'll be
Because
similar
those
to
are
that,
larger lots than these.
but you can still reduce it by footage.
I would still like to see I'd like to see the renderings. I'm not ready to make a decision.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to table Resolution 3125. I'm going to ask the clerk to recite a roll call.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Ms. Duncan?
No.
Mr. Borowski?
No.
Mr. Fry?
No.
Mayor Pedro?
No.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rosen?
Yes.
So I believe it's 4-3. So I'll ask our law director, are we able to put this back on the table for a resolution to accept Resolution 3125 tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody's inclined to make a motion for Resolution 3125, please do so.
I'll make a motion to pass 3125.
Need a second by Rod Fry. Discussion. All right, it's been moved and seconded, and then a voice vote on this one, roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
No.
Mr. Rosen?
No.
No.
All right, so it's 4-3, and that passes the resolution. Thank you.
I should add, before you go, I should add that this is not this has nothing to do with the quality of what you're building. The quality is fine, so that's not what we're talking about. Yeah.
All right, next, we're going to have an executive session. This is a conference with the law director per Ohio Revised Code 121.22G2 to consider the purchase or sale of property for public purposes. Before we go into roll call, I'm going to ask our solicitor, our law director, to explain, I guess you would say, the purpose of a executive session and what takes place in there. Katie?
Sure. I mean, the purpose of an executive session in this situation is for the purchase of property. Sometimes when you're negotiating the purchase of property, you don't necessarily want and you can't have the details of such purchases out in the public because someone may swoop in, raise the price up, things like that. There's a list of other reasons that an executive session may happen. Again, that's to be able to allow council to have open conversations, and with the confidence that a sort of confidentiality will be in these meetings. So that's the purpose.
And then can you elaborate on the information discussed in there stays in there?
That is correct, yes. So the information discussed in executive session is subject to confidentiality. The Ohio, man, you really put me on the spot here. The Ohio Ethics Commission doesn't give an exact opinion on it because the Ohio Ethics Commission doesn't govern the sunshine laws, which govern open meetings. However, it's recommended that everything discussed in executive session is confidential. Some things by law have to be confidential if you're talking about names, social security numbers, things like that. Also, anything that is declared confidential by the entity, so being city council, for the purpose of furthering our goal, that also has to remain confidential. So, like every legal definition, it doesn't quite make sense until you get into the exact facts of it. But the purpose is to be able to have open conversations under the veil of confidentiality.
Thank you. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
So moved, John Rozak. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Todd Borowski. Any more discussion?
Just to confirm, Mayor, this is to consider purchase and sale of property in the city of Waterville?
That's what it says right there, yes.
In the city of Waterville, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure everyone understands that.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Needed a roll call to go into executive session.
Yes.
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 We will be in there for a while, and we have some other business to take care of, so you're welcome to stay, but we're in executive session. Okay, I need a motion to move out of executive session.
So moved.
So moved, John Rozak moved. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Mary Duncan.
Third.
Todd, third. Roll call for coming out of executive session.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Rozak?
Yes?
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Frye?
Yes.
Mr. Browski?
Yes.
Yes.
So I want to make, I guess you would say, an edit to Councilman Wagner asked a question about when we go into executive session, in this case, talking about the possible purchase of land. And I think Wayne said for the city of Waterville. My answer was yes. However, just in general, when you go into executive session, talk about real estate, property can be purchased outside of the city. I just want you to know that. All right, we will move on to old business. Ordinance number 0825, an ordinance amending the chapter 1171 of the Planning and Zoning Code adopted and approved by the city of Waterville. This is the 2025 comprehensive plan. The first reading was held and scheduled for September the 8th. Second reading was scheduled for September the 22nd. And the third reading and public hearing and legislative action is scheduled for tonight, October the 13th. John, would you please bring us up to date?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, this is the third reading of our revision to our 2012 comprehensive plan. So this is the 2025 comprehensive plan. The city started this in February of 2024. We had a steering committee of residents, 15 residents, and the comprehensive plan, the revisions to the comprehensive plan were recommended for approval by the steering committee at their final meeting in May 20th, 2025. The Planning Commission also reviewed the proposed revision to the comprehensive plan, and they recommended approval to council of the revised plan on July 7th, 2025. Our consultant, Glenn Grisdale, he was here at your September 8th council meeting, and he provided a presentation and an overview of the plan. So tonight is the final reading of ending our process of revising our comprehensive plan.
All right, thank you, John. I need a motion to accept ordinance number 0825.
So moved.
So moved. Councilman Frye, need a second?
Second?
Second, John Rozak. Moved and seconded. Need conversation or questions?
I'd make a few comments, of course, Mayor, as I usually do.
Go right ahead,
but,
John. I was going to say you want to make a comment. Go ahead.
First, I would like to thank the committee. I think they did a terrific, outstanding job, and I know that it was very time-consuming. I don't think there's any committee members here, maybe, but anyway.
Yep, we got Lisa.
Oh, sorry, Lisa, I didn't see you behind Dave. Thanks. Great work. They spent a lot of time on this. I think it was very, very productive. It's very, when we talk about a comprehensive plan, it is pretty comprehensive, very orderly, and I assume this will be on the website, John, if it's approved tonight. Is that what happens?
Correct. There are some spelling mistakes, and I think you pointed out some errors at the last council meeting, so we'll correct those, and we'll make sure all the corrections are made, and then we'll have a final draft, and that'll be available for council. We'll put it on the website, and then if the community wants a hard copy, they can come in and get a hard copy of the plan.
Good. I would encourage the citizens to take a look at it. You won't get through it in half an hour, that's for sure. It'll take some time, but it's well worth looking at. And the only question I had, John, is the plan has a implementation section. So how do we monitor, how does the council monitor the progress?
Well, I think we could have this on the agenda for the planning commission, and then they could revisit that, the steps, and I think they're probably the first step there to kind of keep us on track. And I think we have met a lot of the conditions of or the recommendations of the 2012 plan, and some of those that we didn't meet are in here, and I guess That's the, rationale for trying to keep track and monitor our progress. But yeah, I would, I guess, suggest to the planning commission that maybe quarterly they look at this. to
See
make
how we're
su-
doing.
See how we're doing.
Yeah, good, that's good. That's all, Mayor, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? It's been moved and seconded for ordinance number 0825. Need a voice vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call, roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Bobrowski?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rozak?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Good. Next is ordinance number 1025, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit for a commercial use greater than 75,000 square feet for a property located in the 800 block of Prairie Boulevard. The first reading was scheduled for September 22nd. Second reading was scheduled for tonight, October the 13th. And then the third reading, a legislative action, this public hearing is scheduled for October the 27th. John, did you have anything else to add?
I do not have anything else to add, Mayor. This is the second reading of this ordinance.
Good. All right, we'll take it up at our next meeting.
Next meeting.
Just a minute, please. Does it pertain to Meyer?
Pertains to the previous resolution,
Okay, we probably can't take it right now, Dave.
but in your.
Dave,
in your agenda,
Dave,
it said it's up for
Dave,
community discussion.
Dave, we're not going to take it right now. Thank you. Next is other information and unscheduled business.
I have.
I'll start with Mary Duncan. Anything, Mary?
Nothing this evening.
John?
No, Mayor, thank you, nothing.
And Wayne?
I have a few. I'd like to, a couple of things I'd like to discuss is section 121.02 of our municipal code, which
Slow down.
is regarding council's request to have items on the agenda. I'd like clarification on that, please.
Right here.
So your question is,
How do we get things on the agenda?
so the rules of council 121.02 you're referring to?
Yeah, would you like me to read them for everybody?
No, effective immediately following adoption of these rules, the city council, the following rules, regulations, and bylaws will be adhered to. They shall remain in effect unless otherwise changed by the city council. Such action is in keeping with the section 3.07 powers of council of the charter of the city of Waterville, which states that the council shall adopt its own rules and regulations by laws. Specifically, all council members may submit agenda items. An item must be received by the administrator's office at municipal building by 4:30 p.m. 2 weeks or 2 days, 2 working days prior to the day of the regular meeting in order to be included on the agenda. Council members shall be advised of any item requested but not appearing on the agenda. Such items may be taken up for discussion as a matter of council business during the regular meeting. If the matter is of emergency nature and come to the city's attention too late to appear on the agenda, through an expression of majority will the council members shall be considered for the action. So I think, Wayne, where you're going is you provided some information to council. I spoke with you and met with you Friday morning. I explained to you in person that it was not going to be on the agenda. However, I would make sure I had my information accurate. I checked with our administrator, I checked with our law director, and that's why we followed the rules of our council. Now, it doesn't mean you can't talk about something right now, but that's the reason why it wasn't on the agenda.
So it's this council's understanding that the mayor has the ability to deny agenda items. Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm reading?
No, it's right here, as I just read it. It said, council members shall be advised of any requested but not appearing on the agenda.
Okay.
I mentioned to you that Friday, and we talked about it later in the day.
So if there's anything we oppose the mayor on, we're gonna be overruled?
We're not going to be hypothetical.
Katie, can you clarify why there would be any reason to deny a city council member something to be on the agenda.
Before Katie answers that, you're not being denied. You're bringing it up right now. And what you said in your agenda or your email to us, that you wanted to change what was voted on 3 weeks ago.
I'd like
There
to-
were three,
I'd like to
Wayne, I'm not done. There were 3 readings for that legislative action. If council decides to take this up, it'll be at the next meeting, and likely will be 3 readings before we approve anything. That's how council rules are followed.
Well,
Now, you may not understand that, but
well,
you've been advised.
No, that's just not what it says.
Wayne,
I would like to
Wayne,
continue my time.
Wayne, when I'm finished, you can talk.
Sure.
That's what it says in the bylaws. And by the way, to your right is our law director. You don't need to talk to other lawyers to get
but I
valid
can.
information.
But I can. Well,
I didn't say you couldn't,
I
but
can. That's my legal.
go ahead, Wayne.
So further along in the section that the mayor did not read, Waterville citizens are encouraged to request discussion of any pertinent issues by city council through the inclusion of said items on meeting agenda in a matter discussed herein. It is expressed desire of the village of Waterville to specifically address issues that are pertinent to the general good of the community. However, said issues must be brought forward in proper and constructive manner to assure the appropriate consideration. All citizens, visitors proposing an item for consideration or discussion by city council must request placement of said item on meeting agenda. So, obviously, we as council members have less rights than the citizens do to have items put on the agenda. Nowhere in anywhere in our municipal code, and you can do a quick search, 0 times does it say the mayor has the right to deny an agenda item.
Well,
Not-
it
I'm-
doesn't have to say that.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
No,
It says-
in what world would it not be okay for a council to have an agenda? Why would you want to deny a council member an agenda item? Just vote no.
Wayne,
You
Wayne,
read-
let the law
you read-
director answer.
You read section B, right? Agenda. You read that,
Yes.
correct? And you read what happens after a council person suggests something go on the agenda, correct?
Yes.
And it says members shall be advised of any item requested but not appearing on the agenda.
Okay.
That gives an explicit right to deny something to be put on the agenda.
By
So
who?
it doesn't have to say it because it says it by saying.
By who?
It doesn't say it in here. It could be the
It doesn't.
administrator, it could be the mayor.
Okay. I go back to my point. Why would you ever want to deny 1/7 of the voting of the city of Waterville a right to put something on the agenda?
I think like
There's
I told,
no excuse for me.
are you asking the question? You
No,
want an answer?
I'm making a point that every other committee in this town is allowed to put things on the agenda, on their agenda. The city employees are allowed to put things on this agenda. The citizens are allowed to put things on the agenda. One of the 7 people deciding the future of this town can't put something on the agenda?
I think like
If any council person is okay with this, I'm just astonished. It's not a monarchy. This is council. We are all making decisions. We all have a right for citizens to see that our items are on the agenda so they can decide if they want to attend or not.
So if you want to put this on the agenda, then I think you should take that action. But please don't change the code because it doesn't fit what you want it to say.
No, in fact, when I've read that and I've sent that to lawyers, there's reasons why things wouldn't be put on the agenda. Maybe you turned it in too late. Maybe you are asking for something that's just not legally permissible.
Wayne, for a point of order, you're being hypothetical.
No.
Okay?
No, I'm just explaining why things would not be on the agenda.
We tried to answer you. I met with you Friday. I talked to you over the weekend.
Again, Tim, this has nothing to do with you personally.
I understand that, Wayne,
This
but
has to do with nowhere in that municipal code does it give you the power to say no or set the agenda. How is any of these things on the agenda?
because, Wayne, when you're the mayor, you have to have some guidance, you have to have some authority and make things work.
I would
You are a
suggest-
council member, and sometimes you're a good one.
Yeah. I would suggest that we all read the
Cool it.
municipal code because the mayor's position, the mayor's duties is a lot less than what you think it is.
you know, we're gonna have no outbursts, or the police chief will ask you to leave, please. We're having a good conversation.
I'm gonna move on to because obviously
Well, I
it's
want
a
to make
lost
a quick
cause.
note. You have the ability to bring up any
I know.
motion you want to make.
I know, and that's
So
what
but that's different from a citizen. A citizen doesn't have the ability to make any motion, which is probably why our charter allows them to request that something be put on the agenda. So you have more power sitting up here. You have the ability to make whatever motion you want. So it doesn't have to be on the agenda. So your rights as a city council person are not being taken away by not having something on the agenda. You can still make that motion here today.
What I'm saying, Katie, all due respect, if we wouldn't have anything on the agenda. The mayor is a member of council. The mayor, it doesn't say anywhere where the mayor sets the agenda or decides what's on the agenda. The only thing we would ever have on the agenda is what the administrator put in staff reports.
So again, I think you're being hypothetical.
I'm not being hypothetical.
And I asked you if you wanted to bring this up, which you did. What do you want council to do?
I want council to allow council members to put it on the agenda. If we request, and I requested it 11 days, a full 11 days before the meeting.
And you read the charter where it reads, you do have to do that. Council members shall be advised of any requested but not appearing on the agenda. That's in the code.
Yeah.
And if you recall, you go back to the email you sent out to all of us, you wanted to repeal something we put on last time.
And I am not legally allowed to write an ordinance, so that would
That's
require
correct.
John to
That's
have
correct.
an ordinance on there, which
But
I
we
can't do.
we can do it next time. That's what you have to understand. You can do it next time.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm still
Yeah, I have a
not
quick
done.
question on Wayne. So would he have to make a motion to put
Yes.
that item on the agenda and
Yeah,
then we
that's all he's
approve it?
gotta
Is that
do.
how it works? Because
He
I'm,
could,
I'm,
Make a
I'm
motion.
curious how it, like if he
Make a
asks,
motion.
he would, so it would take 2 council meetings. If he wanted to put this on, he would have to come to 1 council meeting, make a motion,
Yep.
and then it would be on the next council meeting.
Yeah.
And would we have to vote on that, or can he just
I'm
put it
sorry.
on there?
Say that again before I
So,
answer.
okay, so would he have to say,
That's not
I would like to make a motion to put a certain item on the agenda, and then would we have to approve that, or how does it work?
It is not outlined in our charter how that works.
Okay,
So our charter does not outline that type of procedure.
it's got a gray
Certainly that-
area?
Yeah, I mean, certainly
Okay.
that could happen, yes. He can also make the motion and the specific language can be written as well, so.
Okay, okay.
So
Thank you
I
for
would,
clarification.
a council person would have to
Make a
get 2
motion.
votes in order to pass anything. We would have to first get it past council to even get on the agenda. And then it would have to get passed again or denied. So if somebody wanted, if a individual council person wanted to put something on agenda and pass it, we're gonna have to get, it's double votes.
I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think you can put a motion, you can
Make a
put
motion.
forward your own motion today to,
Okay.
you know, whatever it is you wanna do.
And it doesn't need a vote. It doesn't need to pass.
It doesn't need to be on the agenda.
It doesn't need to be on the agenda, no.
I'm talking about okay. We have to
It
have
would-
a,
it would have
we
to have
have
votes to
this
pass,
is-
yeah.
This is beyond common sense. We have to have a way to put items on the
Make a
agenda.
motion.
We have to have that. And I
Make a
shouldn't have to say, I need to make a motion to have a repeal of ordinance 0725 be on the next agenda, and then everybody to vote on it, to put that on the agenda.
You don't have to, you can make the motion to repeal
I
it.
can't, it's an ordinance.
You can put it on to be, for readings. You can make that motion.
Okay. So I can make a motion right now to repeal ordinance 0725.
It has to be properly placed on the agenda. So Wayne, the mayor advised you of the process to put something on the agenda to amend a text amendment to the zoning code. So that isn't the proper procedure to follow with that. If you want to amend a text amendment to the zoning code, you had to follow the requirements in section 1129. And the mayor advised you that what you requested you weren't following the process. So if you'd like to follow the process, you have to make a recommendation to council to refer this matter back to the planning commission.
Okay.
Because because it's a text amendment. That's the process. 1129, the mayor explained that to you, and I guess
I'm sorry.
other people have to follow the process.
I'm
but-
sorry, he
but
just
you
told me
don't.
it wasn't gonna be on the agenda. He
Well,
didn't explain
that's the process, so.
Okay, so
So if you'd
Can you
like to
repeat
do
that again?
that, you have to make a recommendation to amend the zoning code. What you would like to do, council can, refer it to the planning commission, and it'll be referred to the planning commission.
Okay, I make a motion.
Just to be clear, you can't repeal an ordinance, you have to amend the code.
Correct.
You have to take that language out of the code by amending the code.
Exactly, so
Yeah.
that's why you have to refer to the planning commission, and you have to get there, you have to tell them what you're proposing, you're making a text amendment to the zoning code, you're removing that language from the zoning code. They have to have a meeting, and then they make a recommendation back to council.
Okay.
Right.
So that's the process.
That's the procedure.
Okay, I make a motion to impose a 12-month moratorium on data centers. Do I need to read it correctly? The motion?
That's not what you asked. You
I
asked
know,
to
no, that's-
repeal
that's-
the
no,
ordinance.
no.
That wasn't what
I
you
understand.
asked to be put on the agenda.
I know, well, they were both on there, so.
May I ask one question?
Go
Is
ahead.
is it possible?
To do a moratorium? We did it on storage units and we did it on car washes.
And we already
The o-
had those.
The only reason why I ask about that is because, again, what Mary said,
We already had those.
we already had them. What I'm looking for right now is just to make sure the legality is done
Sure.
properly. You know, I mean,
We didn't have moratoriums on car washes and storage units at the time.
We had car washes and storage units in place, and so
And so
Then
then we
we
had a
put a
moratorium
moratorium
on
on it.
They're saying
additional.
is,
to
do
prevent
we-
future.
Can we put a moratorium on something that we
We
don't
don't want any
have?
more.
Sure.
Sure. I don't know.
I haven't found anything legally reason why we can't in my search, so I'm gonna finish, please. I make a motion for resolution, what I assume would be number 3225, a resolution imposing a moratorium or issuance or granting of applications or permits for data center facilities in the city of Waterville, Ohio for a period of 12 months, 365 days.
it would
Any-
be sorry.
Any seconds?
It'd be difficult for me to be able to really weigh in because I don't know if it's possible.
Well, we can have that in discussion.
So you're saying a 12-month moratorium on data centers? I would defer to Katie to see if you can have a moratorium on something that you don't have yet.
It's not the right language.
I don't have an answer for you today. Moratoriums are typically for new business. I would imagine that you could have a moratorium on something if you had new businesses coming in. If you knew that certain type of business was coming in. But I frankly don't have a set in stone legal answer. That's my shooting from the hip right now. So I'd have to get you one at the next meeting.
So we have a motion on the table. It's been moved. I have not heard a second, but I will chime in. I want to go back, Wayne. I did in fact tell you Friday at breakfast that it probably wasn't going to be on the agenda, that I would talk to John to clarify, and that I would talk to our law director. That was at about 10:15 in the morning. At 11:15, 11:20, you kindly reminded me that the reference that you were making was 121, not another part of the code. I said, thank you. I said, I'm still working on it. About an hour and a half later, I talked to John, I got some clarification. Later that afternoon, I spoke to our law director and got advice, and I reiterated what I had told you. So please understand, I told you it probably wasn't going to be on it. I told you I'd get back to you, and you don't want to believe it. The second thing is, in general, there is no data center permit followed to the city of Waterville, number one. Number two, we don't have enough land in the city of Waterville to accommodate a data center. I'm told they look to 200 to 300 acres of land. The township, however, who I met with the chairwoman of the township trustees, and she knows that there are developers looking in that community, possibly for end users like data centers. But I can tell you, Lucas County, on the west side where we are, and the east side of Lucas County, there's a lot of land out there that's being considered for projects, including data centers. And as sure as I sit here, never will something like that get built unless it comes to city planning commission and city council. For those of you, and you know who you are promoting wrong and misinformation, you're doing the city and the community a disservice. We don't know what we don't know. The county is organizing a meeting to have professionals, not guys like me that don't know a lot about data centers. They're going to have professionals talk about these things. Those meetings are being formulated. Some people want them to happen tomorrow. They're not. They're going to happen when the right information is prepared, the right knowledge, and the right timeline. So we're getting all in a frenzy over something that we don't even know about, including moratoriums. We don't know what we want to have a moratorium for. All right, so it's been moved.
I have a quick question. Don't we have one on dispensaries and
Yeah.
like strip malls and stuff like that?
No, we have a prohibition against marijuana dispensaries, and Wayne, you went to the planning commission meeting and talked about how we need to have more, pot stores in town and stuff like that, and the planning commission recommended to council that that wasn't a good idea, so they came back to council and council passed that, and that's how that process works. 1129, it was referred by council to the planning commission. The planning commission provided a recommendation to city council. City council talked about it, was on their agenda, and then they voted on it, and they voted against, I guess, allowing pot stores on every corner in town. So that's how the process works, and that was the advice that the mayor provided you with last week.
All right, so it's been moved. There's been no second, so we will let that one.
Hold on.
And I'm not saying I agree with this, but I don't see why we shouldn't let him put this on the agenda. I'll second it.
All right.
Wait, that's not what you're seconding.
It's not what you're
His motion was for a moratorium, not for him to put it on the agenda.
Okay, and we still get to vote on it?
Yes.
If someone
Like,
seconds it,
if
yes.
he's just asking that we look into doing a moratorium, that's
Yeah.
all he's asking for, right? And then we vote on it.
No,
Hey.
he's asking, yes, that is correct.
So it's not
I just wanted to
approved.
make sure you knew.
I would feel comfortable doing that at the next meeting with knowing the ability that you can moratorium something that does not already exist.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Can we do, because Wayne, I don't think anyone's gonna come in
No,
the next
I
2
would
weeks.
be happy with a second,
Yep,
so we can get to further discussion like normal, procedure.
fair enough, I'll second.
All right, just restate your motion, Wayne, please.
I make a motion for resolution, what I assume is gonna be 3225, a resolution imposing a moratorium on issuance or granting of applications or permits for data center facilities in the city of Waterville, Ohio, for a period of 12 months, 365 days.
Second.
Second. That's been moved and second. Any more discussion?
Okay,
When would the moratorium begin?
resolutions are immediately if we vote yes, I believe. Ordinances
Actually,
take
we have
30
to
days.
do three readings. and-
No, that's ordinances. Resolutions are
But
immediately.
he wants to get rid of the ordinance that we already approved.
That's not on.
Oh, that's
I-
not your,
I didn't-
you're not talking about that.
And Katie, this may be a moot point, correct? This discussion about the moratorium?
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
It may be a moot point, because we may not be able to do a moratorium on this anyway, correct?
I would imagine that we could, but
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to get a straight answer for you. Yes.
Okay.
no, this is an actual moratorium that was first and second.
He's gotta make a motion to refer.
No, it's not.
Are we discussing it, Mayor?
Yeah, I would like to discuss.
We're having some discussion here. Law
Okay.
director
We're
is.
at, we're at that phase of discussion. I believe I get first right to
Yeah,
talk,
absolutely.
correct? So we've all seen the files. We've seen pages and pages and pages of files. We've seen what the county economic development team is marketing as close to 900 acres of land west and south of Waterville, okay? What we don't have in our plans that I can see is we did allow data centers in M1. We had no discussions about power plants. We had no discussions about energy transmission lines, a lot of things that would make a data center work, okay? One of the things that the county is marketing this area for is, hey, let's build this data center and you can tap into the Nexus pipeline. And you can build up to, it'll hold up to a 2 gigawatt gas power plant. I've shared pictures of the gas power plant and I can share to all of you. Do we want to control or to be able to put limitations on a power plant? We know what limitations we put on the data center building itself. We didn't make any rules for a power plant, which would then possibly cause the Nexus gas compressor station to be built. That is a real possibility. It could happen as any user taps into that. You know, they're talking about tapping into it in Oregon. But as of right now, whether we want to admit it or not, the county put together a marketing plan. That marketing plan included our mayor in meetings where, according to Matt, and Matt's in the meeting, it was recommended that we switch our zoning code to M1 to entice data centers. Okay? That's the facts. That is factual information from the man himself.
Do we even have the I'm in the black
No,
office.
we
I
don't
know.
we don't have the property, but I can tell you there was a meeting in April at Longhorn Steakhouse on Dussel Drive where a non-disclosure agreement was presented and expected to be signed.
Who presented that?
Well, according to the text, it was you, Mr. Mayor. I know you said you
That's
didn't. but
absolutely not true.
I'm just, according to the text, it was you.
That's, I told you that the other day. That's not true.
Well, we can ask Julie Thoreau to come in and that's fine. We can ask Matt. I know Matt didn't.
No non-disclosure agreement presented or signed or discussed. There's been no non-disclosure agreement
Okay.
related to these.
Well, then it's wrong information, but that was,
There's a lot of that going around.
so.
So Wayne,
But
you, go ahead.
let me finish, please. The fact of the matter is we don't have any limitations on, that I can find, on 2 gigawatt gas power plants. Okay, our comprehensive plan, which we just passed, you know, our blueprint for the future does not include data centers. Okay, why is it even being talked about? We have an opportunity to get ahead of the data center market before we get into another situation like we did with the amphitheater.
Well, I believe that with the data
wouldn't it
center,
be
and I
long?
could be, you know, wrong, but, you know, having owned one of my businesses at Fallen Timbers, they have said that there could be one in that area. I'm, you know, reading about news headlines. I think there's one in Oregon or Rossford or something like that. I don't really know, but, I mean, some of their marketing strategy could be maybe they're trying multiple areas to go after multiple areas, right? Whoever will take it on.
Yeah.
But I surely would not be in favor of something that, number one, isn't even buildable or suitable. But
Well, a lot of us don't realize that in 1997, the city of Waterville and Waterville Township signed an annexation agreement. We drew a map around the city and we
Can we, point of order, you're drifting into a lot of conversation. They're good conversations, but stay with the agenda, please.
Well, this is
Finish your
directly to answer Anthony. He said, he's about to say we don't have enough land. I was explaining to him that we have an annexation agreement with Township where we can annex Waterville Township land and make it Waterville without the county commissioner's approval.
So Wayne, we talked about this. So that annexation agreement was set up approximately 30 years ago. It was set up purposely for guys like me and Wayne can't come in, get elected, and start changing things. You got to have consistency. And so that was set up. And there is a value to the unincorporated area, Waterville Township. They received funding from the city. Last year was upwards of $100,000. I don't know the exact amount, but I believe it's been about 12 or 14 years where they've been receiving benefits. So there was a conscious decision made by the township trustees, by the village of council at the time. And so, again, there's a reason for that, but that doesn't come into play today.
I didn't say there wasn't a reason for it.
Well, you're
I didn't say it was a bad-
hypothetically,
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I was just explaining to Anthony
No, you're-
why we technically do have the land for a data center.
We
because
do
all
not.
the annexation
We do not.
agreement in place.
We do not, Wayne.
So I
We
would
do
like
not.
to, Tim, may I say something, please? Tim does a great job advocating for Waterville, and I know there's a lot of chatter online about him doing this, him doing that. Tim has been doing this ever since he's been on council, ever since he's been mayor. He's been advocating for business in Waterville. Now that he may have had a couple meetings that people are opposed to, a few people are opposed to something, all he's doing is doing his job, and he's doing a great job at it by advocating for Waterville, trying to bring business here. And I strongly believe we don't have a data center interested today in Waterville, but of course, there's probably been discussion, hey, you know, this is a new and up and coming thing, this is something you should consider. So I think, you know, all of these stones that are being thrown today, it boils down to we have a mayor that's advocating for Waterville, bottom line.
Mayor, and for the record, every annexation proposal has to go to the Lucas County Commissioners. They have to put it on their agenda, they have to vote on it. So every single annexation presented in the state of Ohio has to go to the county commissioners. That's the law, that's what it is.
So again, that's all legal documents that's been out there. You know, some members are just learning about it. Mary?
I want to clear one thing up because Wayne has posted online that no one asked the county to come in. I asked the county to come in. I asked them to help market Choctaw and the land behind my house. I spoke to Matt about it directly, not as Mary Duncan, Waterville City Council person, as, hey, Matt, I haven't seen you do a lot of stuff out here in this end of the county. We've had a hard time getting Choctaw anything. In how many years have we owned it? 20?
20 plus years.
And we've never built anything over there. Is there, I'm watching you build, you know, at Southwick Mall, out on Alexis Road. You've got all kinds of things going from the county's economic development team, which Matt sits on. So I would like to see them market our area. Data centers was a concept. That's one of the things that that people are looking at in this area. This is nowhere near down the line like, okay, we're getting ready to vote on this. It's one of many things that have been proposed for the area. Mary, would you guys like to look at something like this? Oh, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. What about something like this? Do you want another hospital out here? No, I think we have plenty in the area. What about if we did something like this? Well, I don't really want an auto plant in my backyard. So if you could not do that, that'd be great. But that's how the discussions have gone. I understand data centers are being discussed and are being built in Bowling Green and maybe in Oregon. Our area is ripe for development. We do have the pipeline. We do have water. We do have everything you need to build something. And we also need the tax base. And we've said this before, and people don't like to listen to it. But honestly, we need more room for our police. We need a new police station, technically. We could use a new public works building, the one that we have. How old is it? 45 years old? So we've outgrown all our buildings, but we don't have the money to build something like that. I don't think the taxpayers want to pay for it, but it really helps when we have some industry. I am not saying we need to build a data center so we have tax money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that was on a piece of paper that said, what about some of these ideas? That's it. That's as far as we've gotten. And I know people are all worked up about it over nothing,
Well,
honestly.
Mary,
It's
I know-
vaporware.
Another rumor, well, I don't know if it's necessarily a rumor, but I had read somewhere that this data center was highly interested in Waterville Township out by the golf course near Fallen Timbers, and that's why all those houses got
turned
canceled.
down. And that's a possibility.
don't know.
I don't know if
I
that
have no idea.
landowner's gonna sell to the data center. I can't predict what they're gonna do. I do know there's been discussions with people that own land out in the township, but we don't have room in Waterville for one. There's not enough land. So I don't want Waterville citizens getting all worked up about something that's not, it's not realistic. That's all.
Can I,
But I did ask Matt. I will take ownership. I asked Matt, and I don't want you to say, we didn't ask him to come in, because
no,
we did.
No, to be clear, what I stated was Waterville City Council did not ask.
No, they didn't.
Did
I
not
did.
ask them for a data center.
No, we never,
No.
we asked them
Okay,
for.
we didn't ask them to
we
help
asked them
market our
for
area for a
help
data
to
center.
market, no.
And I never said we didn't ask them
Not,
for help marketing.
forget about data centers. That was one thing on a piece of paper.
One of the things you said was great, because it kind of furthers my point, is you've had discussions with them
With Matt, me
about
personally
what
with
you
Matt.
could, what you would want and what you wouldn't want.
Well, yeah, just personally,
But yet-
because I know him. It's
Okay.
not something.
It wasn't a city council person. that you talked to,
Absolutely
it was- okay,
never,
okay.
never. The thing is,
'Cause I haven't had that
until we
discussion
have a
with them till today.
proposal in front of us, we aren't supposed to make decisions on things like that. We're supposed to be unbiased.
Well,
So
we're supposed to
whoever
let the
brings us-
process play out, right?
Yeah, but
You know,
you're
we hear
not.
that. We hear the
Amen.
process play out.
But you're not. You're
The
stirring the
process is
pot.
accepting the application, the process is submitting it to planning, and then eventual city council decision, correct?
That's,
the pro-
if we have
The
somebody.
The process isn't going to lunch. The process isn't
Right.
going to landowners and talking, seeing if you want them to sell for the project.
That's been done by a lot of people.
That's not the process, though.
So, Wayne,
It's not in front of us.
we're gonna move on. I got, Councilmember Fry, comments?
Well, yeah, Wayne, that's economic development. That's all of our jobs up here is to do. At least I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
We have meetings all the time with developers and investors and businesses. You know, they're not backdoor, back room meetings.
No.
These are meetings with people, and we're seeing if it's viable. That's the way it works, okay? That's
Everywhere.
economic development.
So, I think it's important to talk about lunch. Okay? We gotta laugh about it. Here's the situation. There was a real estate agents that wanted to, go ahead, Wayne. You have a,
Just make.
yeah, go ahead,
I know the story. You've already told me.
go ahead. So I received this call, which I receive a lot of calls from different developers and individuals. They thought that because I was the mayor, the property that later turned out to be out in the Waterville Township, somehow the city or me has some jurisdiction. Once I found that out, I said, no, you don't want to talk to me. You want to talk to the Waterville Township trustees. That person said, oh, do you know them? I said, yes, I know all three of them. I said, I can make an introduction. So, speed forward to whatever date Wayne referred to, there was a lunch with Julie Thrall, the township trustee, myself, the two real estate agents. Matt Hireman was invited to be there, and I made an introduction like I do in my day job, in my council mayor job. I made an introduction to a couple parties. I walked away thinking that those parties were going to talk about whatever they chose to. That was the end of my discussions with the township trustee until recently, and the developers. There have been some other meetings that I've attended. As Todd mentioned, I get called into meetings frequently about economic development. I have to go listen. I don't think you'd want me to say, nope, I don't want to go to that meeting because I don't think that new hospital is important to be here in Waterville. So I take my job seriously. I try to learn what I can. And just to further mention, last October, almost a year ago to this date, council heard of real estate firms and local and regional and national real estate firms were looking in the Waterville area for projects. Not necessarily data centers, but just large tracts of land. You all live in the area. The Gordie Howell Bridge is coming almost to completion in Detroit. Going to come down 75 to Toledo, and then perhaps branch off to Lima, Findlay, Lima, et cetera. Or it's going to go to Toledo, to Waterville, to Fort Wayne, to Indianapolis. Whether we like it or not, we are on a corridor. So the county is trying to position themselves to be ready for stuff. You look at Wood County, they've been doing this for a long time. They are positioning themselves. They've got zoning in place. That's why the last meeting we had a zoning on data center, M1s. So I know it's hard to have everybody follow what I'm saying, but these things are in motion for years and weeks and months, and they go forward. So council and I, more specifically, are working with local partners, including Waterville Township. I met with Julia Thrall on the phone on Monday, and then at her work of business earlier this week. We talked about a lot of things. The Toledo-Lucas County Port Authority, the Regional Growth Partnership, Lucas County, and others were working together. But those things all take time. And when they get to a final, maybe plan, if you will, then they're chewed out at the Planning Commission or to the City Council. So I have to tell you, I want those that are on the keyboard warriors to get off it. You don't know what you don't know. And I've had some people in this room say some rotten things to me, and I talked to some others and they took it down. Deal with the facts. And then also, there's going to be a meeting later on, and you'll be the first to know once the players get into scheduled. And we're not talking about somebody just knows a little bit about data centers. An expert in data centers, an expert in water, an expert in power, an expert in land. And I share that with you because it's going to happen. Then you can make a decision what you don't want. I'm here to defend the process. Wayne talked about the process. We can't just change things because we don't like them. You can voice your opinion, be nice about it, or guess what? Pick the phone up and call or send me an email. Don't go on the keyboard like some of you do on a regular basis. You know who you are. Now, I lost track. Where are we?
We're to the voting part.
I haven't commented. I'm the only one who
Go
hasn't
ahead.
commented.
Go ahead,
So
John.
It wouldn't be fair if I didn't say something because that's what we do here, right, Wayne?
Yeah.
So specifically with regard to Wayne's motion, as you know, Mayor and Vice Mayor, I'm an average dude. I'm one of 6 average dudes and an average dudette.
Oh, boy.
Later that same day, I was called a bad guy, as we were all called bad guys that same day.
Yeah.
And I am, when it comes to data centers, I'm an average dude. We don't know enough about data centers to know whether we should have a data center here.
Right.
It's a data or a data, I don't know, but anyway, or not. It appears that we shouldn't. It appears from what we saw on Facebook that it would be a miserable addition to the community. But in any case, it won't be in Waterville no matter what we do because there's not enough land in Waterville to place a data center. So I think it's premature to consider a moratorium because there's nothing to moratorium for at this point because nothing has been proposed. And we do have a ordinance or a modification of the zoning code that covers a lot of the issues that were raised with regard to data centers.
Right.
That was done deliberately just in case a data center appeared on the horizon. We would be ready to say, look, if you want a data center, this is what you have to do. And there's plenty of stuff in there, and we can certainly modify that in the meantime if we need to. So I just think it's early. There's a lot of fuss going on right now. It's fear of the unknown, really. There's nothing happening, and probably nothing will happen. I don't know how many data centers you need, but there's one in Bowling Green. There'll probably be one in Oregon. If we're gonna have every 5 miles a data center in this country, it's gonna be a pretty awful landscape. So I would say we're just a little early to even be discussing it, but we have been. And that's all I have to say as an average dude.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to place a moratorium in action. Go
If I
ahead.
could have 1 second.
Go ahead.
I don't know how you do that. It's not gonna make the 11 o'clock news at this rate. Silly, silly, silly.
If there's questions of legality, I don't mind tabling the vote till next meeting,
I want to wait till Katie gets done deferring.
if that's what you guys
There,
are
it
getting.
is, yes. So there are questions of legality, not about whether or not a moratorium can be in place, because there are no data centers here currently, but just about the process in making a motion to pass a resolution just in a meeting, and whether or not a written motion needs to be prepared ahead of time. So I think it would make sense to table it till the next meeting, and we can hash that out and/or have the written language prepared to be able to publish that in accord with section 3.1 of our charter.
I don't mean to sound redundant, I'm okay with that, but I'm kind of what I asked for 11 days ago.
So you're gonna withdraw your motion from
I'll
now?
withdraw my motion and ask it to be placed on the agenda for the next meeting.
Todd, you okay with that?
I
Withdraw.
second that.
As a resolution at that time. You want
As a
a written
resolution at that
resolution at that
time.
time.
As a resolution.
And then
Alright.
I'll further work with John on how to get
Can Mind if I ask one question too?
a repeal put up.
What about, this is just out of curiosity. Is Waterville Township, maybe Monclova Township, I don't know, other communities, are they doing any of this? This is just not necessarily for you. This is maybe for Katie to do some digging on. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing, maybe it's not.
It's my understanding that Waterville Township is gonna be asking for a moratorium at their next meeting.
Okay.
So to chime in also, Waterville Township did pass a legislation that addressed data centers. Monclova did, the city of Waterville did, and the other communities. So we're trying to be proactive in these things that are going forward. All right, so that motion's been taken off the table. Any other comments?
So did we get approval for it for the next meeting? That'll be on the next agenda.
We can, I don't think it's necessary, but we can. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be on the agenda, right?
We're gonna put it on the agenda. Okay. All right, any other unfinished business? Need a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Wait a minute. Just a minute, please.
So move.
So move.
Second.
Second, I'll talk to you after the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.